Today we were talking about a very common thing that happens with beginner guitar players, which is, I'm not sounding like I want to sound. Why is it? I can't figure it out. And you just can't figure it out because you don't have no experience with the guitar yet. So I'm going to give you a little checkup, a little checklist of things to look for. First, just make sure your guitar's in tune. I like these little clip-on ones now. Make sure your strings aren't too old. These are kind of ancient, to be honest with you. Old strings will sound out of tune. Beginners, you're not playing 6 hours a day. You could probably get away with changing your strings, I don't know, every month or so. Make sure your nails aren't too long. What happens is they go past the string and they hit the wood when you're trying to be on the tip of your finger, and it makes it almost impossible to even play something simple. Why am I hearing that sound? Well, it's probably because you're not pressing hard enough. That's one reason. So make sure your thumb is behind the neck in the middle of your hand. It's pushing in this direction, your fingers are pushing in that direction, so they share the work. At first, it is going to feel like you're really pushing hard. Over time, you get finger independence, you get calluses on your fingers, and it doesn't feel like you're pressing that hard at all. Another reason notes aren't coming out is because one finger is touching the next string. Probably because you have it on a little bit of an angle, and it could be because your thumb's coming up, but this finger would be touching that one. If you have an open string that's sounded like that, you're definitely touching that open string. There's no other reason that it wouldn't be coming out. Now here's the other thing, is you can be right on the tip of your finger, but your finger could be down this way a little much, and the same thing is happening. So it's a game of centimeters, right? So you got to get that finger up there and make sure that those notes are clear. When you're playing a chord, play each note individually. Go nice and slow if you want. Make sure they're all coming out and you don't have any of that happening. If any of that is happening, go back, go through their little checklist here, and make sure that you're getting a clear tone. Then once you finally are getting in a place where you can strum, sometimes you get this. Right? And you go, well, my G chord sounds pretty good. My other ones maybe not. Sometimes students don't notice this because they're so focused on all the million other things you have to think about when you first started playing the chord shapes and the strumming patterns. But what's happening is, especially when we play a D chord, we might be hitting these low 2 strings. You hit the A, not that big a deal. A's it's in the chord, but a D with an A in the bass is a little different than a D chord. When we start to get that E in the bass, then we start to feel muddy. A C with that E in the bass using the right way is cool, but you're kind of strumming it like that. That's what it is. Just work on your aim over here. Try not to hit those notes. Be conscious of it. Sometimes being conscious of it is all you need to know. One thing you may start developing is this ability to kind of just get that finger in a position where it's muting the low E string. So even if you hit that E string by accident, you're not really hearing any sound. Probably the biggest struggle for new guitar students is changing from one chord to the next. It can take months to really start to get that happening. Other than just actually playing the songs and working on the chord changes, here's the pretty much only exercise I think that's going to help. Let's say I want to change from this G to this C, right? You want to get it so you can do it like that. But when we first do it, we tend to go and put one finger down at a time. Then it starts to get a little better. Maybe you get 2, but you're not getting it there when you're trying to strum. So the slow motion exercise is literally that. You have to go in slow motion, make a mental note of the path each finger is traveling. You say, okay, that second finger is coming from the 6th string to the 4th string. The first finger is coming from the 5th to the 2nd. The 3rd finger is coming from the 1st to the 5th, right? Slow motion, and then when you get lined up on the new chord shape, do your best to place them all at the same time. Motor memory, finger independence, getting those to come down at the same time. If you are learning a song, listen to that song over and over and over again. Even if it's a song you previously probably didn't listen to it in the context of trying to learn the guitar. Now you are. Listen to that song enough that you can hear it in your head. You know what sections are coming next. If you are working with a teacher and they have a lead sheet or have you on a page, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I do that. But you want to get away from that page as soon as you can. Most of the songs that your teachers are going to teach you at the beginning level are going to be pretty straightforward. They might have a couple sections. Some of them might just have 4 chords to go around. Do your best to memorize it. Everything is better when you're away from the page and you can concentrate here and you can listen to yourself and make music. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope all you beginners take that to heart and that will help. Please check out my latest instrumental release. It's called In Defense of Daydreaming. It's 10 eclectic, very guitar forward songs, solo pieces, duets, rock groups, jazz fusion bands, jazz bands. I hope you'll enjoy it, and we will see you next video.